That's the hot tea. Do you want to play a game to get you more comfortable speaking into the microphone? We can play a popcorn game or something really simple. Something to kind of like lighten your...
Lighten my loafers.
Yeah.
Is that what you're saying? Is that a gay joke?
I feel like you're a little heavy in your heels right now.
I do feel a little heavy in my heels.
Okay.
It's been a long couple weeks. It's been a long holiday season.
It has really been... it has been... You are correct. It has been a very... Since Halloween.
Yeah.
It's been a very long 2 months.
I think we're probably all feeling a little heavy in our heels
Yeah.
right now, but it's time to get light in our loafers for the next year.
Everybody get gay for 2023.
Get gayer if that's possible.
Get
2022 was a pretty gay year, I would say.
Yeah. I do agree. A lot of lessons are going to be learned in 2023 because the number comes out to 7, and 7 means that there's a lesson in numerology. So that's your lesson from everybody here down at the studio.
That was really fast math, and I can't keep up, but I will believe.
I've been doing the math. Trust me.
The 777. Where'd you get 7 from?
2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 equals 7.
That does equal 7.
Yeah.
You are correct.
Because 2022 was 6, and that's why I said last night there was a lot of death this year for me. A lot of the part of me that I created to survive up until a couple days ago is gone, and that's not always a sad thing.
No. It's a rebirth, and that's a good thing. It's a good thing to coincide with the new year, and every new year you get to decide how you want to live the next year. If you want it to be different, it always feels so hopeful. Like on this day, the first day of the year, you can be
Anybody.
If you want to be a new person, today is the day.
You can be a new person any day.
Sure, but the first of the year just feels like the right time.
Bring this a little closer. There you go.
Sensual.
So sorry. Hi, everybody.
I was wondering if we're going to do that.
My name is Jaron. My pronouns are he, him.
My name is Nicholas, and my pronouns are he, him.
And we are one half of your normal hosts for Typically Divergent podcast. Tonight, Nicholas. Tonight we are giving you an unfiltered, raw episode because it is technically actually now January 1st. We did not get to record this on Friday. The last couple days did not pan out as normal. Again, I'm diverting around the punchline here. Heather is still quarantining, and I did get her permission to do a New Year's episode with Nicholas. And so, Nicholas, would you like to tell everybody who you are?
Well, first off, I would like to just say thank you so much for having me. I'm a longtime fan, big fan.
Known downloader
since the beginning, which, feels like...
Bring it back to your face a little bit. Sorry. No, don't move your head. Stay relaxed. Just make this get closer to your face.
What get closer to my face? The microphone?
Yes.
Well, then I was moving it closer to my face. If it keeps coming closer to my face, my head's going to be out the window.
Not bring it this way, but bring it... Hold on. I love you so much. Oh, let's not have another microphone incident.
Not another microphone incident.
Headphone. There we go. See, it's right there at the opening of your blowhole.
Right, like if I just open... Nope.
Hi, Dan.
As I was saying, a longtime listener, known downloader, a big fan. I've been listening since last year. So that's a whole year now.
The whole year of being a fan.
That's right. I am 1 year into my fandom. And so thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Technically, you're 2 years into your fandom because when we got back together in 2018, you looked at me and
That's
said,
true.
"I want you to follow your dream," and I didn't know what it was at that time.
I was a fan before there was even a show. So
Yeah, and I said, "Okay," and then I figured it out. So we're but yes, who else? What else are you to me?
what? I thought you were gonna say, "Who are you?" I was like, "That's a bit. That's a big question." Who else am I to you? Well, as of last night, you mean? Is that what you're getting at?
Yeah.
Oh, it's so crafty the way you got there.
I'm really good at making natural segues happen.
Yeah, natural, sure. As of last night, I am your fiance, your proposed, your betrothed. Yeah,
You are
we
betrothed.
are fiancés.
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 It's pretty close to Beyonce, so I mean, like, I, ladies and gentlemen, everyone out there, that was just an eye roll. I wish you could have seen it. Beyonce and fiance, not a happy connection.
It's okay. It's not that it's not a happy connection. I don't come for me. I'm a Britney. I'm a Britney before a Beyonce.
Well, I've got to tell you, as we get further into this episode, one of the things that I do want to talk about, Beyonce is going to come back up. So
Okay.
just get comfortable with Beyonce. But
Get comfortable with
as
knowing that this is not edited, you guys.
I know, I feel like there still needs to be some sort of structure,
Okay.
So we've introduced ourselves. We've broken the news.
We've
If
broken
you
the
want
news.
to hear the story, you're going to have to wait for a later episode in which you'll get our whole story.
But I will post a photo of Nicholas's ring on Instagram if you guys are interested. I bought that ring. Shout out to, they're totally not sponsored. This is a free podcast, you guys. We're not making money from this right now. But I think it's really important to support queer businesses and small businesses, if that, specifically queer-owned businesses. And they are called Atomic Gold, ATOMIC. They are a queer-owned recycled jewelry business based in New York, I believe. And I ordered Nicholas's ring about 6 or 7 months ago, and I'd been holding on to it for a little bit. And
It is beautiful.
it is so beautiful.
It is very shiny, which I love. It feels great on my finger. I mean,
Yeah.
it's perfect. It's exactly what I wanted. And knowing that it is recycled is just a really cool,
Responsible way.
responsible way. And it's a cool addition to this story. I just wanted a very plain gold band, but it's like that little extra cool factor is it's recycled gold.
Yeah, it's not like people being like, oh, well, this is naturally made diamonds versus lab grown diamonds. So my diamond is more expensive than your lab grown. They're the same, but your ring, there's history behind it. Every atom of gold behind your ring.
Atomic gold.
Uh-huh.
Oh, wow.
There's a story, and now all of them collectively, they get to create a new story
I love that.
for you and me, for you and I, Lady
For
Gaga.
us. For
You and I. For we.
we.
Oh, yes.
So next on the show, what would our next segment be? I really want to try and keep true to your
to
other wonderful
brand.
co-host,
Okay.
Heather.
Intro.
We didn't draw a card.
No, we didn't draw a card this evening. There's no particular reason other than just the fact that I wanted to just have this episode with Nicholas. And so there's no card this week, you folks. There is, okay, so mental health check-in.
Sure.
If you want to scale it from a 0 to 10, or if you just want to talk about your overall health, how are you feeling specifically today? Anything that you want to celebrate?
I mean, yeah, it's not, that's a tough question at the beginning / end of the year. I'm a type of person that does a lot of thinking about how I'm feeling, and I'm constantly really introspective and just, birthdays and the end of the year all feel very symbolic. And so I think a lot, and it's all, some's good and some is bad. And it's just, um, it's a very emotional time of the year. But on a scale, I feel good. I feel mentally healthy, I would say right now. I think, luckily, I've had a lot of excitement going on in my life. And
All right, folks, we are back. I'm not really too sure what that was. Do you want me to play back what you were saying so that you can get back on track?
no, it'll actually be better if I can be more succinct with what I was saying.
Oh, I love that word.
Succinct? I feel like I'm using it incorrectly, actually. So after this, I'm going to have to
I can look it
up. Okay.
We can all learn right now, here and now.
Wow, aren't we really diverging? But I do love to make sure that I'm using words correctly. So, but to be succinct about it, we'll find out here shortly if that's correct or not. There's been a lot of excitement going on, and normally I would get winter blues pretty bad around this time of year, especially with the holidays. But with the excitement and feeling a lot of new things, I think it's kept me distracted and it's been beneficial for my mental health.
Good.
I'm looking forward to taking some time to relax and really continuing to recover.
Good.
How is your mental health today?
Very nice. I am feeling a very nice, well balanced balance of like existing, living. I am so happy in this very moment, and I have time will tell. Right now is not the time to tell.
Fair enough.
But I know that I am home. I know that I am safe. And even as a human being, anxiousness is going to still arise in my life. And I have the tools that have helped me at the time that I needed it the absolute most. And as long as I just go right back to what I know, I can get through anything. And because I can get through anything, I can now live and stop surviving. I can sit down, not physically. I mean, we're sitting down right now. Metaphorically speaking, I can sit down and relax and stop running away from so many things and start to experience life. And last night, Nicholas and I were talking about the end of our year, and he had said that courage would have been his year for this past year. And
My word, yeah.
Your word. What did I say? Courage.
My year for this past year.
My year's year. His word for the past year. And I started to cry because I've written about courage being a really big thing in my life, especially towards this ending part, which was just so beautiful with the timing, because this is the time when like death would happen. Yule. So, and now I feel completely reborn, and I look forward to sharing that with the audience, sharing that with the people that I love. I am very much looking forward to sharing that with the people who need that kind of love and compassion. And I know exactly who I am. I know exactly where I'm going to go. I know exactly where you are going to be with me.
It's very nice, baby. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great.
I would love to do some. Oh, do you want to talk about things that? Did we talk about things that we wanted to do into the next year?
No.
I want to read more. I read a whole book in 2 days, guys. It was a poetry book. Courtney Peppermill. I don't know. Peppernell. It's
Peppernell.
Peppernell.
That
Yes.
sounds right. Yeah.
It was way back home, it brought me to tears. I folded the corners of the pages that were my favorite. It was originally for Nicholas.
Kind of a serendipitous story. He purchased these books because he thought it was a different author that I really wanted. Anyway, I have no idea who this author is. Turns out Darren loves her. So it just worked out perfectly. I'll get a chance to read them, and I'm sure I'll love them as well. But it was just one of those really happy accidents. So,
And she's a queer poet.
she is, absolutely.
She's a queer poet. It was so nice to read on the back of it how much of that book that she wrote dedicated it to her wife, and I was just like,
again,
bawling.
supporting queer artists. What a great thing! I want to do more of that in
Supporting more queer artists.
Yeah, in 2023.
Hell yeah! I want to go down to Wunderkammer
Absolutely.
more often, folks. Sorry if you don't live in Fort Wayne. Wunderkammer is a what would you say that building is?
I would say it's a multi-use space. I've been to so many different, totally different events there. They host, like the queer markets, which are really awesome. I've been to plays there. They've done, when Katya was in town, we went and saw Katya
That's
there.
True. We did.
They did that drag show there.
She slurped on my chicken.
She slurped on your chicken. That is
the rubber
not
chicken.
a metaphor. That is actually happened. It was a rubber chicken.
Yeah, I don't have the picture of it anymore because I purged a lot of that.
But it happened.
It happened, and I still have it.
What else? I did a weird Zumba. Not a weird. It was fun. A Zumba workout thing there. So Wunderkammer, yeah, multi-use space. That's what I would call it.
Oh, the word.
Succinct.
Yes, said in a clear and short way, expressing what needs to be said without unnecessary words.
Correctly.
You did. High five. Good job.
A clear and succinct manner.
Yeah.
That high five was not succinct.
No. Well, it's really hard to do that in this new position. You guys, we are in the studio.
Oh, I'm so sad that I'm in it before Heather is. Just keeping your seat warm, Heather.
Yeah. So are the cats. They love this furniture that's in here. This is the furniture that used to be in my apartment. Cindy's mom has the third piece that goes with this, and she wanted the third piece, but she didn't want these. And I said, that's okay. I have a use for them. And then I held on to them because I knew I was going to use them for this room.
It's perfect. They're very nice for podcasting. What else do you want to do more of in next year? What do you want for next year?
Learn. I know that's not very exciting, but I want to learn more, whatever that is. You learn something new every day, right?
I love learning, absolutely.
But I want to learn something that's important.
Well, all different things can be important in their own use.
You're right. Okay,
so more in like a day-to-day sense, more of a useful.
Sure. Yeah, something that's effective information, not
Do you want to learn a skill or do you want to learn knowledge? I mean, I know those are like
both.
Both.
Guys, remember when I was talking about how I was afraid to that story about me painting in this house? I've painted 2 rooms in 2 days.
It's crazy. You can't stop him. I'm like terrified of what's going to be next. Actually, the wall right behind his head now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different swatches.
And there's 2 swatches on the door next to that.
Yeah, we're gonna not talk about this paint job anymore right now.
It's great.
It's we have really gotten when I say we,
I love
mean
that you said
you.
we. No, it's supposed to be us. It's supposed to be us.
Comfortable with paint, it seems. So you're just like, caution to the wind. Let's put colors on the wall. Let's disregard if they. Again, we'll talk about this a different time.
I want an orange.
Yeah, I have no problem with the orange, but it's the orange in the aubergine and the yellow and the like. It's
the yellow is for the
Again, we can.
This? You don't like this? Okay, it's gone.
No, I'm not saying I don't like it. I think.
I don't. That's too mustardy for me anyway.
Okay, so I'm thinking a Trixie Motel, the Atomic Room. They do that like fun kind of swoop. It was actually a big trend in design in the past year.
Yeah,
where
because
you
the
can do
70s and 80s
multiple
are coming back.
colors. Yes, and do kind of like a geometric thing on the wall. I think that would be really fun. And I think that would be a good way to use those colors.
Or we splat paint it.
That is another option. Yes.
That is an option. You're right. Because that's a choice.
So we are now talking about splatter painting the room that we just refinished the floors in.
Oh, baby, I'll tape the crap out of the plastic on that stuff.
I believe
paint,
you.
I'll paint
We're not
all
going
of
to splatter paint this room, although I do like the idea.
Yeah, I'll paint.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll do just like a shitty white job over everything, even the board.
No.
And then I'll tape off the board and the doors and the windows, and then just like go crazy with rainbow.
Okay, and so more painting in 2023. What else?
I don't
Can we
know.
talk about 2022 before we move on to next year? Because I've been thinking a lot about this conversation. And
no, not this way. Just drop it.
And things that I loved and hated in 2022. And I think there are some real winners.
Okay.
Why the heavy sigh?
Because if you want to talk about that, that's totally okay. If we're going to talk about like hot topics of the year.
Why? But I think that's something that's really interesting nowadays because it's something that we can all collectively share in. And I think more now than ever with like social media and how all of that, I think it's an interesting thing to see how we all relate to the same media that we see, but because of our backgrounds, we see it in different ways. So some things that are my least favorite things, maybe it was like, wow, I had a lot of fun with that. And
yeah. Okay, so
it's a short list.
Okay, great. I'm going to give you two things that I did not like in 2022.
Okay.
One of them is just a general overall, the amount of violence around the globe.
Oh, we're getting like really serious. Mine are silly things, so I'm going to feel... yes, obviously... Yeah, sorry, go on.
And Britney Spears not getting married. Or Britney Spears getting married.
Is one of your least favorite things.
Yeah.
I mean, there is a lot of controversy and... Not controversy. Theories. Conspiracy theories.
Conspiracies.
Even more so now that we're after the holidays. And
are
there's
they
that
called
whole like...
Conspirators?
Conspirators.
Like Britney Spears.
Exactly. Are you a conspirator? Do you have a conspiracy?
Jinx, I love you.
I love you too. Yeah.
You guys, he's not putting on a show. This is exactly how we are when it's just the two of us. Now he's putting on a show.
I'm not putting on a show.
Okay, what are your top two, bottom two?
Okay, the things I disliked in 2022, I disliked a lot of the dumb food trends was really frustrating. We've talked about this a little bit, how wasteful some of those things can be.
Yeah, my fiance works in a restaurant.
I love food, so it's very near to my heart, and to see these terrible things being made. I specifically like the counter meals, like the counter nachos where they just spread everything on the counter.
I like that. I think that's so conventional. Unconventional in the fact that it's because like it's a waste of all the plastic that you're using to protect the table, but if you put everything in piles, it's already in a pile anyway. The only thing it's not in a pile is as a plate.
Yeah, but I feel like it's just for show, and I feel like all of those things.
Oh, right.
Like to do it Nobody's actually
gluttony.
eating that way. Well,
No.
I guess I have seen videos of like people with families, and maybe that's something we don't understand because we don't have children. But
Ugh.
maybe that would be really
Sorry,
fun for the
folks.
kids. But oh my gosh, the thought of spreading spaghetti on the counter and then letting the children just like eat it
Oh,
that
well, why
way,
would anybody do that? No,
because it would
like,
be fun for the kids, but horrifying. To me, that's horrifying. What if, ugh. No, nope, 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 nope. Nachos where they just pour the whole like can of cheese. Ooh, I, I just.
yeah, that's gross.
That was one of my least favorite trends in 2022 was dumb food.
In your second?
Oh, I don't know if I. It was mostly the dumb food. I mean, there were a lot of, like you touched on, really bad things that happened, but I wasn't focusing on the bigger picture. I was just thinking of some silly things I didn't like from this year.
Hmm.
See, Britney Spears is on my did like list because her whole situation's been
Oh,
brought
yes,
to
of
light.
course.
But like you said, there are a lot of theories, and I don't want to know. I do feel like something sinister is going on.
I just don't like that she got married because she's not married to me. She's one of those, like, I'm definitely extremely light in my loafers.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, it's just so weird listening to myself talk compared to the way that you sound on the microphone because your voice sounds so delicious. I want to eat you up. Um, I just she's one of my like few like females that live in this world that I'm like I wouldn't necessarily go straight for you. I mean, like that's not sexuality is not a choice, you guys. Acting upon who you are is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
And hiding who you are is a choice. And also hating yourself for being who you are is a choice as well. Um, Not that our audience needs to know that, but yeah, like when she married Kevin Federline, I heartbroken. But of course,
Wow.
like I mean, it was
She's been breaking your heart for years.
I know slave for you. She wrote that for me to sing to her.
You were destined to
she's
be
like,
the Britney slave.
she's like, you're a slave for me, Jaron.
We do have a picture of Britney Spears in our dining room, framed, but only one photo of Britney in the house, actually. So
Yeah, but
maybe we should.
it is bejeweled.
It is, but it is bedazzled.
Bedazzled anyway, but bejeweled. Speaking of bejeweled, we've got 1, 2, 3 photos of Taylor Swift in our house.
We've got a few. They just pop up randomly, and it's one of our favorite little, cute little things that Taylor Swift's just around our house sometimes. It's always a surprise. I mean, yeah, if well, that'll segue right into our favorite
If
things
you
of
open up our medicine
2022.
cabinet,
Yeah,
there
Taylor
she is.
greets us every
Yep.
morning.
Masterpiece.
So
Midnights.
if you're like, why do these gays have Taylor Swift? Do they love her that much? It all started. Somebody brought a hairspiration. No, that doesn't work, does it? A
You
hair
can say that.
inspiration photo of Taylor Swift, and Jared, knowing I love Taylor Swift, brought it home for me. Well, now every time this
We
client
love
comes
Taylor
in,
Swift.
right now we love Taylor Swift. Yes,
Now I have not loved her in the depths that you have. Her first album I loved because at that time in my life I was still listening to country music because I did grow up in a small podunky town in Indiana. But and then I think Speak Now came out, and then like I fell into the trap that media was like, she's so stupid, she doesn't get over any heartbreak, and it's like, oh
classic.
yeah. But then when you and I met 6, 7, 8 years ago, and Reputation came out, and you were like, yeah, she's my guilty pleasure, and since then I was like, yeah, she's my guilty pleasure, and then Taylor
Which
Swift for us getting back together is a really big part of us getting back together and our relationship now as we are growing as a unit. And I mean, while I was paying for these 2 rooms for those 2 days, I mean, I had some serious dedicated alone time to sit down and not only just like listen to her entire catalog, but music is such a big love language for Nicholas and I because we really sit with the lyrics and we hear what they're saying and we can empathize with that.
I'm going to interrupt you for just a second before
Do
it
it.
leaves my mind, because if you didn't already leave it in, I don't know, probably 2020, this should have been left long ago, but guilty pleasures. Let's just get rid of that
Oh
because we
yeah.
don't have guilty pleasures anymore. If
No,
it's a pleasure, ooh, love it. And say that out loud. I think
yeah.
just you saying that made me think, you know what, that used to be, yeah, I used to say I don't want anyone to know that I love Taylor Swift, and it was a guilty pleasure. And
Yeah.
now I think that's part of maybe growing up and coming into your own, is realizing that
Yeah.
you shouldn't feel guilty about anything you like.
Just be
But
who you are.
so if you didn't already leave that in 2020, 2021,
Leave
now
it
leave
behind.
it in 2022. It's your
Leave it.
time.
Yeah. Um unless your guilty pleasure is like Chick-fil-A, then you should feel guilty because
Yes,
companies
feel
like that,
guilty.
that's bad.
Absolutely.
That's bad. You should feel not only guilt. I'm sorry. I have left could, would, should back months ago. But honestly, I would consider looking inwards.
Wow, coulda, woulda, shoulda. We're just like, I don't know if you've noticed how many Taylor Swift songs we've just name dropped in the past couple minutes. Easter eggs. We're like Taylor right now. Oh my god.
Oh
We're
my
like pretty much Taylor
goodness.
Swift.
I can't wait for 1989 to be re-released.
I tell ya,
And Speak Now. Oh,
2023. We're gonna have a time. Who knows if
a
we'll get
Taylor
it all?
time.
Taylor time.
Taylor
There's
time.
always time for
TT.
Taylor.
You said the song is for Taylor?
I said there's always time for
Oh,
Taylor.
I thought you said this song is for Taylor, and then I thought you
Mm-mm.
wanted me to break out into song.
I mean, I'll always stand for you breaking out into song, but that's not where I was going.
Only 9 seconds
With
long,
it.
though, because if it's 10, then I can get sued.
Oh,
Copyright.
is that how that works?
Mm-hmm. After 10 seconds, you start get
Interesting.
copywritten. And then if this podcast was monetized, then we would get demonetized.
Well, I'm so tone deaf, you would need at least 30 seconds of me singing to know what I'm even singing. It's a real problem I have.
He's good at the trumpet.
There is a trumpet downstairs. That doesn't mean I can still play it. I used
Baby,
to
anybody
be.
can do. I'm sorry, not anybody. Able-bodied people can do anything.
Play the trumpet well.
It's just, can you do it well?
Right. I could
Correct.
probably play some scales, but that's about
Some scales.
it.
The scales as like scales. You mean like steps down the stairs as it falls down the stairs?
No, I could try and play it as I fell down the stairs.
Oh,
we would get some notes out of it. Exactly.
Oh, can't make too many trumpet
Just swimming
noises,
up
otherwise I'll get
like screaming into
sued
the
by
trumpet.
the trumpet
Yeah,
companies.
absolutely. Is there anything you loved about 2022? Because I've got some favorites.
Well, can I go pee first?
Yes.
And we're back with our favorite things of 2022.
Just like Oprah.
Just like Oprah.
Or
So,
Julie Andrews.
well, we are
Take your
90s
pick.
babies. I'm a 90s baby. No, you're still 90.
Mm-hmm.
You are 90.
Absolutely. Quintessential 90s.
Quintessential.
Grew up in the 90s. Well, I mean, I guess not. Late 90s. Because, every once in a while I'll like click onto a 90s playlist and I'm like, wow, maybe I didn't grow up in the 90s because I don't know this. I guess it would be more like late 90s, early 2000s is what I really...
I think it really depends on... Sorry, folks. Yeah, I'm going to have to cut that out.
You're going to have to do some editing to this, yes.
Just a wee bit.
We get a little long-winded sometimes.
I mean, I'm not going to go into it and like carve anything.
I don't know what that means. Can I tell you my favorite things from this year now?
Yes, please. Go for it.
One.
Yeah.
Because we just recently finished it and I've still been thinking a lot about it. The Genaissance. The Renaissance of Jennifer Coolidge. It's been called the Genaissance of 2022. And I mean, let's be honest. She's been queen for a long time. I mean, we grew up seeing her as a queen. What, Cinderella story was probably like the first time.
Oh, no. Stifler's mom. American Pie.
Okay, sure, but as a child, because we weren't all allowed to watch those things when they first came
I
out.
was a child.
Well, we weren't all allowed to see those things. That was a dirty movie.
I wasn't
I
allowed
was
to watch it.
well.
I
Okay, great. You knew her Stifler's
Is this
mom.
because Dan is
Look at me,
listening?
Disney. No, this is Disney Channel.
Okay, this is because you're a
Disney
theater kid
Channel
and I
on
was a
Cinderella
rebel.
story. Okay, yes, Cinderella story was how I first saw her, but then Legally Blonde, of course. And I mean, now one of my favorite roles from Best in Show, which I mean,
Oh,
just
I do love Best in
we
Show.
could talk or not talk.
And even after hours of talking or not talking, we still find
Find
things
things
to
to
not
not
talk
talk about.
about.
We both like soup. I mean, just iconic. So and I'm not going to give away any spoilers if you haven't watched season 2 of The White Lotus, but again,
Oh.
have not stopped thinking about it. It's been what, weeks since we
Yeah.
finished it, and I am still
Really? It's lingering on you that bad?
Yeah, I just
I mean, it was. Okay, spoiler alert, skip the next 2 minutes. It was really sad.
I
I
mean,
gave
yeah,
you a
it was
warning. We're
just
going to talk about it.
not just that I don't know, something about it just really stuck with me. It was like really kind of like traumatizing to like for her at the end to know that they were trying to kill her and she was stuck on this boat. And yeah, when she came out shooting, it was just like I mean, A+ acting. She just looked so traumatized and distraught and just on a rampage, firing that gun, shot everybody, and still didn't survive.
No.
I think that's why, because I wanted her to survive. I wanted her to get off that boat, and she got off the boat. But
I highly doubt that she knows who I am right now. Maybe one day. But hey, Jennifer, I know you didn't write that script. They totally did you dirty. Having you jump.
I don't know.
Off
I've thought
that
about her a
boat.
lot. So
Like, I can do this. Girl, just walk down.
they did. Yep, she could have. Although that's always been her character.
Like,
Is kind
what's
of
the
like,
meaning behind that? Because she was that dumb, or because are we trying to? Because that they made a body size comment in the writing earlier, very early on in the first episode.
the Peppa Pig.
So is this like
No, I think that's just kind of like her character. You know, she was kind of unfortunately helpless, and I think that's just was a fitting way for her to go, unfortunately, because she was. And I'm not really familiar with the story of Madame Butterfly, but that was a big theme running through how her life was like a tragedy. And so for her to not survive is, I mean, classic tragedy ending. No one survives. And I guess I'm just realizing this as I'm speaking about it, but everyone on that boat died. It was a tragedy. Like, that was the tragic ending.
I
Nobody
want to see
survived.
this now.
Madame Butterfly.
Yeah.
I'm sure there is a great performance out there somewhere, but yeah. So that's the just getting to see Jennifer Coolidge and all the love for Jennifer Coolidge was one of my favorite things.
Yeah.
And
She is beautiful.
she's beautiful, hilarious. I think she's smart as a whip, and just
Correct.
plays a character very well.
I want to see her in a serious role.
What about Tanya was not serious?
What?
Said what about Tanya was not serious? That was serious acting.
Her trauma was serious
Her trauma was serious.
in the way that it was.
All of their trauma was serious. Oof.
Yeah, and all.
Oof. I know. Just like thinking those traumatic things.
That the couple that doesn't vote. This is how we talk. Okay, so I guess we're gonna talk about White Lotus for a little bit. Sorry, folks. We're not gonna give out any spoilers, but
We already gave out spoilers.
Well, I told. This is how we talked about the characters. So there's the couple that doesn't vote, and then there's the couple that did not have any affairs going on, any illicit affairs happening, and then there's the father-son grandfather trio, and then Tanya and her
Assistant.
assistant.
You're forgetting about the girls.
Oh,
The working girls.
the working girls.
All three of the working girls. Because, I mean, technically they were all working. Two of them were working.
Oh yeah. And
Working
then
the bar, and one of them was working managing.
and somebody had told Nicholas that somebody in the storyline would come out at some point as gay.
No, so it's funny that you
That's
bring
where
that
the
up.
heavy and the heels comes into play.
It's actually not that. I made an assumption based
Oh.
on a meme that I saw
Uh-huh.
that a certain character was going to come out as gay. Turns out that's just a line. The meme is just a line from the man who doesn't vote when he says to his friend, "I want to be inside you," because they were like, they had just rolled, I think is what it was. So it was just the meme was that frame and him saying that to himself. So I thought they were going to have an
wrong
affair.
context.
Yes, I took it out of context, assumed that
Okay.
it was going to be those two that were.
Well, because he made an assumption and we were, of course, looking out for it. At some point, the hotel front desk manager, it was just like, it's got to be her. And that's where the heavy and the heels came into play because I was like, I think it's her. I think, and then Nicholas said something about, you think she's a little light in her loafers, and I said no, she's a lesbian. So
Heavy in
what's
the heels.
what's the opposite of light in loafers? So still haven't gotten a lesbian to approve of that yet. So I'm so sorry if anybody out there doesn't like that. I don't think it's offensive.
Even thought about that.
I don't think it's offensive by any means, but I'm not a lesbian.
So.
And I think that the light in the loafers thing is really funny because I remember hearing that as a kid.
I think the only stereotypical like assumption there would be that one might say that lesbians don't wear heels.
I know, but
again,
that's
stereotypical assumption,
that's
right?
a bad assumption.
So that's what someone might be upset about, but we obviously mean it with only the best intent.
Yeah, I am not light in my loafers when I walk. You guys should see the amount of I don't even wear loafers.
So wait, you think you are not light in your loafers? You
When
would
I
say
walk?
yes. You would say on a scale of 1 to 10, how light are you? 10 being the lightest.
Physically,
Mm-hmm.
Like,
How gay do you walk?
like I got told as a child from my mother, when you walk, you put a lot of effort into stomping into the ground. Like you walk with a purpose. So I do walk with a purpose.
I guess it's just because I know you and I've seen you like skip or prance around.
I
and
know.
I just know you as being that kind of like jovial, kind of silly skipper sometimes. So
Yes,
I would
skipper.
say you were absolutely light in your
I am
loafers.
very
but
light in my loafers.
That's just because I know you.
When I am in the presence of this man here, I just come to life.
Light as a feather and stiff
Stiff
as
as
a
a
board.
Sorry, Dan.
Oh, it was too good to pass up. That's what I said. Anyway, what else did you love? I mean, that was the big thing I wanted to talk about, the Renaissance. Obviously, Taylor Swift was, Midnights was one of my favorite things. I liked a lot of the queer representation we got this year, and how, I don't know if I love that queer is so trendy now. You know, it's like, so Z-Way, if you haven't watched it, is a pretty good show. She creates a lot of commentary on social issues, and we recently watched one about corporate allyship.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So that is, I would say, is the only, like, you know, everything's a little bit of a double-edged sword, and while queers getting more representation is a beneficial thing, it also does come with some of that corporate allyship that maybe is not so great.
Okay. A couple things. I love how you asked me my favorite things, what other favorite things I had from this year, and then you didn't even let me talk.
Well, you looked stunned, like you didn't have anything. So I was just filling the space.
Okay. 2. Nicholas said corporate allyship, and I lost my health insurance yesterday. Do you know what that means?
I don't know what that means.
I can tell the company that I used to work for.
Oh, actually, I wondered that because you said that you weren't going to say anything for 30 days because of your health insurance and knowing that you now no longer have that.
Mm-hmm.
But you should save that for the next episode because I already know it should be something that you talk about on a official episode.
Okay. Next week.
So if I hadn't cut you off,
Um, I'm really happy that I left that company. That was the train of thought. Was I didn't get a chance to say anything, and then I was like, oh, I left that company. Oh, I can talk about it now. So okay,
mm,
so I left, um, working two jobs. I am very happy for the courage that I had to leave and start this new life with you. And I know you want to talk about like, okay, Zelensky getting People of the Year, Person of the Year award.
great.
Okay, sorry. We had a little potty break. Is there anything about your end of the year and new year that you would like to talk about in your personal aspects of your life?
Talk about good or talk about bad?
All of it. You don't
Um,
have to talk about either or specific side.
I mean that's a pretty broad question. What do you give me a direction to go at least. What do you want to know about 2022?
Okay. So, what do I want to know about 2022?
Yeah.
Okay. What positive changes have you seen in yourself since the start of this year?
Oh, since the start of this year, well, what was, you know what? I mean, there have been, you would be a better person to ask that question to, I guess. I would say, um, because we've now spent I was thinking, well, how did I start last year? How did I start 2022? And I started it with you. So,
Mm-hmm.
um,
You just want me to sit here and praise you instead of you don't want to
no, 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 that's
you
not
don't
what
want
I'm
to
getting at
praise
all. I was
yourself.
just, when you're kind of like trying to think back, you think of how things were different. And while things were different, they were still new with you and I, but we started the year together. So I don't look at it as like, we've spent the whole year together. So it's not like, oh, I was doing really badly at the beginning of this year because I was doing very well at the beginning of this year. But I guess things I've learned, probably a little extra patience.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been a patient person, but patience and understanding and, to take life a little less seriously, I think has been a good a good thing. We talk all the time about how I feel like I'm really becoming an old man and I'm becoming like really set and kind of like cantankerous and a lot of the things that I like and liking things the way that I like. So relaxing a little bit has been an interesting challenge, but I think I've done it well.
Mm-hmm.
I guess maybe. I don't know. Have I done it well? Have I been patient and laid back?
You've you've been you have been more patient. Uh, with patience came understanding and your ability to hone in on what exactly it is that you are feeling in that moment or what you need and being able to feel safe v- talking to me about those things. So with those things also came communication. So yeah, I met when Nicholas and I were first together many years ago. He would always joke about like I'm such an impatient person. I'm so impatient, and it was very profound how impatient he was. And I still loved it either way because it was just that inner child in him that was still like just not ready to just let time tell. And
Well,
time's been telling this man.
I'm still that way. I want what I want now, and unfortunately, the current state of things hasn't made that any easier. It's so easy to get anything you want so quickly, with Amazon and 2-day shipping. If it's not going to be here in a couple days, if I have to wait 2 weeks for something, I don't want to buy it. Although it is a nice surprise because I forget that I've ordered it.
Do you remember when you used to have to order something and it would take up to 2 weeks?
Well, sure. I mean, and sometimes, at least in the early age of the internet, I didn't even know if that stuff was going to come.
Oh.
The first shopping online early on was kind of
Russian roulette with getting your credit card information stolen too.
Sure. But I mean, even then, Netflix, when you would get discs delivered, it still felt like those took a long time.
Mm-hmm. Forgot it was on your list.
Sure did.
Forgot it was even in the queue.
Do you know you can still do that?
What?
You can still get DVDs delivered through Netflix.
Good. Good for her. Good for her.
If you want to pay that premium price.
Fuck premium.
Let's get an extra premium. That's I bet in 2023 we get ads on Netflix. I'm calling it now.
I am manifesting that does not happen this year.
Well, it's going to happen.
I know.
It's so frustrating how ads are just everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Very dystopian. It makes me unhappy.
Hopefully 2023 is not the year they appear in the sky. Projected in the sky. A lot of dystopian movies.
Speaking of dystopian things, do you remember, I'm not going to say it on the podcast, but do you remember when we were on our way home and we were talking about books or something, and then you said they should write a book about...
Oh, yeah.
I think you should write that book.
I'm not a novelist.
It doesn't matter. It's about having creativity.
Well, if there are any novelists out there, I have a really good idea for a story.
Nicholas.
What? I don't want to write a book. There are a lot of things that I want to do in life, a lot of skills that I want to have, a lot of things I want to accomplish. Writing a book is not one of them. Too many words. I would publish like a poetry book, but like a whole story. I wanted to when I was young. I wanted to write a book, and then I realized how many words. And I can be a wordy motherfucker. But
yeah, come on, Stephen King.
Yeah, but like you really have to you have to really flesh it out, and there is I'm not that
sprinkle
creative.
A little time.
I am that creative, just in different ways.
I still really think that you should just think on it.
No, well, maybe, getting comfortable with this medium of storytelling, maybe, because they do they do be doing.
Come here, you lovely man. Come here. I love you.
I love you too.
So, baby, what do they be doing?
I don't even remember. They
do
be serial podcasts. So like they just, tell a different part of a story every week. So maybe that would be a way that you could,
create this
story that's in my head. I had another really good idea in the car. But now I don't remember what it is. It was probably even better than...
Maybe a word for you this new year should be create.
Well, I'm constantly creating.
I know. Just
actually, that is a good word because you said
get off your ass
wanting to learn and like get up and work.
Say that again.
Get off your ass and fucking work.
No, when did this happen?
What? When did what happen?
To get off
in
your
2022, ass? Kim Kardashian.
You're talking about the actual event. I thought you were talking about something happening here at the house. I thought you were like, I was listening to music, getting ready for work, and I told myself this. I was so lost.
Well, I am now lost. It doesn't take much. I get myself lost sometimes, but I'll just tell you to maybe this will clear it up.
Huh.
I was thinking that it is something that I would like to do is create. I want to build something.
Okay.
And it made me think of it when you were talking about how you wanted to learn.
Yeah.
In 2023, I would like to learn skills. I would like to learn more about woodworking in particular.
Yeah.
And I know they teach, they have classes that you can take at both the community center and the Builders Guild. And so, yeah, I think it would be really fun to build something with wood, and whether it be just a table or a bench or something very simple. I think that would be a. So I think create would be a good word.
Great. Well, I would love to come to the class with you so that I can learn how to make Dozer's
Stairs.
stairs for the bed.
Absolutely.
We upgraded the bed that was here at the house from a queen to the king that came from my apartment. Nicholas used to sleep in it and then had a very soft mattress before we brought this one back into his life, and it seems like a massive bed. I don't know why I'm bringing this up. Sorry.
I don't know, because you're talking about the stairs and the stairs to the bed, and that's why you need to build stairs
Oh, yeah,
so
right.
Dozer can get
Thank
on the
you.
bed.
It all
But
comes
it's
back
the
around.
same height. Well, I guess it is a little taller, but
It's taller than what
that's
he
neither
has had
here
to
nor
climb on
there.
to for years, except for the queen that we had here. He had never, up until then, the mattress had been on the floor for several years.
The queen is still here. There's still
Yeah,
three queens here.
No,
That's not
no.
counting the
There's
cats
Taylor
or the
Swift,
dog.
Brittany, one,
No,
two,
we're
three,
talking
three
breathing,
pets.
breathing, breathing
Okay, well, that
humans.
positive
Humans.
energy that I feel in the house, that's happy that we're redoing it.
Don't
That's a
gender that
queen.
positive energy.
Don't what?
Don't gender that positive
I
energy.
A queen could be
Maybe they want to be a
any
king.
gender, huh?
I mean, not necessarily. I mean, yes, as we're speaking it, because we're so comfortable.
KWEEN queens.
Yes, but yes, I understand what you're saying, but it's still somebody who has another person who has fought so long to
You're
be
right.
viewed as masculine
Yeah,
might not be comfortable being called a queen.
that's true.
No matter the context. You know how like
Oh, I
I might
understand. I
use
used to feel
dude
that
for
way.
everybody, but if somebody was still like, no, I'd
Yeah,
rather you not call it, even though I use it
yeah, I understand. That
kind of
was my
ambiguously.
when we were sisters. I
Mhm.
hated when mom would call us girl
Mm,
because of the toxic masculinity that I was struggling within myself at that
sure.
time in my life.
So yes, that spirit, I can see how everyone is a queen in our eyes. But
And
if somebody was like,
right, and when we say queen, coming from our eyes, I'm worth saying a powerful individual.
sure.
Because even in chess, the queen can do any spots.
I mean, everybody knows.
Well, people who don't play chess don't know that.
I guess.
I guess Nicholas has a cousin that's like 5 years old. That's like a chess
Prodigy.
prodigy. Yeah,
Yeah.
really sweet kid. Yeah. I and not to like talk statistics, but I do have those listeners in Oxford, Michigan. So I'm not going to give anybody your last name, and it's not from
Those relatives don't live in Oxford anyway.
Oh, okay.
So. No
Well,
worries. But yes,
we were in ya.
anonymity,
Anonymity.
especially after seeing what happened to Aubrey Plaza. I don't want anyone to know where I live.
Well, nobody's gonna know where we live.
You know my. Yes, they absolutely could. Do you know you can like search your first and last name on the internet and it will show your address, your relatives, your phone number,
I mean, that's just
cities
a phone book.
you've lived. I know it's well, exactly. So all you need is my first and last name, and you can find out where we live.
Okay. Well, hey everybody, I'm taking Nicholas's last name when we get married.
It's Smith.
It is not Smith. It is a beautifully unique last name, and I'm
Smith.
not going to tell you. Smith.
Jones. Doe.
It's got 3
Nicholas
symbols.
Doe.
Nicholas Doe. The way you just like rolled your body. Nicholas Doe be doing.
Well, if there's one thing Nicholas loves, it's dough. And I mean that in the
My
yeasty
God.
way, not in the money way. I do like money, but that'd be a tough choice. Basket of money, basket of bread. What kind of bread? How much money? Coins, bills. Are the bills brand new?
What's the currency?
Oh, good question.
Is it gold?
Is it gold? Is it doubloons?
Doubloons.
Yeah, gold doubloons. That's a pirate currency. Don't look at me like
Gold
that. The
doubloons.
Goonies doubloons.
Oh, you're right. I only watched it that one time. Sorry.
Don't come for him, ladies and gentlemen. He doesn't know what he says.
I don't know what I say.
You've only seen the Goonie ones. It's
You're right.
just
That's
me,
exactly
like,
what I said.
projecting the fact that I saw it a lot of times onto you.
Correct. And you're also projecting that, like, I'm, like, uncultured gay or something.
It has nothing to do with being gay,
Okay.
other than, like,
You're right.
didn't we all have a crush on Brant?
As a child,
Yeah,
would I have had crushed on him?
Absolutely.
No.
Yeah.
At that time, I was still crushing on girls.
Were you, though?
Well, I wasn't. It wasn't until Jessica Simpson and Nick Lachey had their thing on TV where he was running around without his shirt on, and I went, yep,
Was it
I'm
the tribal
definitely
tattoo?
gay. Yeah, it was a tribal tattoo. I went, yep, I'm definitely gay. I've been hiding this for far too long. I have to start accepting this.
Tribal
I
tattoo
cannot
that
hide
did
this any
it.
longer.
Yeah. Wow, Nick Lachey, sure. 98 Degrees, was it the best boy band? No.
No,
Did it have the hottest members? Also no.
And
But
all body shapes and sizes are beautiful. And with that being said, what he looked like then, I am not even remotely interested in now at this point in my life, nor have I ever truly, really been interested in it.
was it also Frosted Tips? No, that was later.
No, that was earlier in his career, but not through the show. It wasn't on the show. At that point, he was an adult.
Oh, yeah.
Marrying a woman who asked about the chicken or the sea.
Yes, this is Chicken of the Sea. Tuna of the Sea. Chicken of the Sea
tuna.
Era Jessica Simpson
Era.
MTV. Cribs. Cribs was around that time.
Speaking of the word era, a lot of people have been saying that a lot lately, and I think that we should go ahead and give a little nod to Taylor Swift because she started to use that word a bit more, and now a lot of people are like, oh, well, this is my era.
You know what? I think that's a very good point because Taylor Swift really did kind of normalize that. Well, and not just Taylor Swift. Well, she is one
really
of the first artists in my memory to really reinvent herself so many times. Although, Gaga has also done that.
Yeah.
Every album for Gaga is a very conceptual, different album.
Right. But she doesn't talk about it being like, this is a new era for me. She's just like, hey, guys, I'm Lady Gaga. This is what I'm doing now.
Right. And Taylor Swift has always been very much
hey, that.
it's the Eras tour.
Different. Yeah. I would like to continue to do that. This is a new era in my life.
Sure. And that can be however long you want. If you want your era of something to be, 2 weeks, great.
It's still an era.
It's still an era.
You could be a new person every day. You got 365
Maybe it's
chances
an
to do it.
error.
Ooh. Well, good thing I don't want to change again because I like who I am right now.
Era. Although if you say it with an accent, era is also era.
All right, Dan. This man is not even a father, and he is just like dad joke back and forth. As soon as it hit New Year's, no, not even as soon as. It was just like as we were leaving the restaurant last night. Hey, see you next year.
I have to. You get stuck. What else are you supposed to say to people? I hate that you get stuck in that.
I'll see you later.
Yeah, but then you're like, well, I'll see you next Tuesday.
Okay.
And then they get mad.
Well, then, hey, guess what? I guess I'll see you next Tuesday.
Don't call me that.
I'm not calling you anything. I know what you're talking about. It is a full sentence. See you next Tuesday.
Or see you next year.
Okay. See you next year.
See you next year. And this year.
And this year.
And
And every
last
year
year.
after that. I think we should go ahead and wrap this up because I have to.
I have so many more things to talk about
I have to pee again. This
that I
man does
loved in
not.
2022. I'm not done with my podcasting era.
He said, "This is my.
This is my
episode."
era.
Well, maybe we got the equipment. I can teach you how to use all this stuff. Just don't forget about me.
I don't think the world's ready. It's not that I don't think the world's ready. It's that I think people don't actually care.
Huh?
Is my problem.
You think people don't care?
I think that what I have to say is not important enough for anyone to want to listen to.
Speak about the things that are important to you.
Yeah,
Stacey
but
got me that on a picture.
Oh yeah, it's sitting. I think it's
Sitting right
next to me. Yeah. No, I yes. I could talk for forever.
I know you could.
But there is that saying, sometimes the people who talk the most say the least, and I never want to be one of those people.
I know what you were talking about. That's why you don't talk that's why you don't talk and give the listeners an hour a day. Or
what about Aubrey?
2 hours every week. You gotta still keep it. There's
succinct.
Succinct. That's right.
Yes, yes, you are correct.
Baby, we are so succinct.
Succinct. Also, another way to say that, which I like even more, not succinct, but
in sync.
No. Forgot what I was going to say, but I'm pretty sure it was. What is that movie that she says? Oh, I know what it is because I just watched it. Save the Last Dance. She says, "You're talking a lot of shit for somebody who never says anything," and that's just always stuck with me. Another way to say, sometimes people who say the most speak the most say the least.
I know. Your brother and I were having a conversation a while back about something, and he looks at me and he goes, "You're so wise," and I was like, "Thank you, Connor. I know. I really appreciate that. It took a lot of heartache to get here. Like painters paint pain. I got to figure out what people who speakers share stories."
That is a fact. Speakers do share stories.
They do be doing.
Although sometimes they share facts, and although the facts can tell you a story, I don't know that they are inherently stories.
Facts. I like facts, not alternate opinions.
But when was the last time you received a fax?
We never had a fax growing up. So whenever I was at school, and that school got a fax.
Yeah, I never had one.
Oh, when I worked for that disgusting salon chain that I used to work at when I met you.
You got faxes?
Yeah. We would fax each other. It was fun. I fucking loved it. I was like, you guys, this
it's what I want in 2023.
More
comeback of old technologies. I want beepers and fax machines in every office.
I want to be less available to the public.
Less available. Well, my boss tried that. He went back and got a flip phone from a smartphone, but then he realized he was too ingrained.
Yeah.
He needs it too much. To be fair, he's
running
multiple businesses, and it's not.
That's how I feel about the salon now.
Yeah.
If we had if I had an assistant or a receptionist to take care of my bookings, then I would not need my cell phone. But because I am in charge of that, that's something I could possibly look into.
Look at that, 2023, less available.
Less availability. Mm-hmm.
Thank you again for having me. I've enjoyed my time in the hot seat.
In the hot seat. Heather's hot seat.
Heather's hot seat.
Keeping it hot for Heather.
Keeping it hot for Heather. Heather, I hope you get so hot in this seat.
Oh, so... Yes.
Toasty
hot.
Warm. I'm going to put a little... I think the cushions are too thick, but you could put like a little heating pad under the seat, and I have heated seats.
Ooh, I do have a heated pad.
Heather's heated hot
just
seat.
Like sit on it. Anyway, I have to go to the bathroom. Is there anything that you would anything you want to tell your future self for next year so that when you listen to this?
Oh gosh, no.
Okay, I do. Hey Jaron. Hey future Jaron. I am really proud of you for all of the hard work that you've done. And I know that where you are right now is exactly where you need to be when you are hearing this. And place your hand over your heart and remind yourself who you are. And don't forget December 27th, 2022, and how special that day was. And I can't wait to meet you. I love you. And future Nicholas, I can't wait to meet you. And how special you are as a man, and how lucky I am as a man to have you. And by next year, time would have told you the things that you need to know. And you will know exactly what I mean when that time comes. And I can't wait to share my love to you and share so much love for the rest of the world. You want to go change it with me?
Absolutely.
Okay. We'll see you in, well, technically it's the new year, but hey, folks, well, we'll see you next year.
Bye for now.
I love you.
Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
Oh, I love you too. This is weird.
Bye for now.